Hello, we're back here, Third Coast IT, and we have Ben with one of our trusted vendors here with a application tool that we use to keep people safe, to do application allow listing, and it is also a Swiss Army knife of sorts. And so, Ben, can you tell us a little bit about what this tool does and how it helps keep our customers safe?
Of course, I'd love to. Thank you. So the Threatlocker solution is essentially a 5-component solution. The first of which is allow listing. Very simply, allow what you need and block everything else. So that's going to be blocking any unknown or untrusted applications from running. That includes things like ransomware, hacking tools, as well as simple applications that could be used in malicious ways like TeamViewer. Now, once you've chosen what you want to be able to run, we need to go ahead and limit what it can do. We've seen a huge increase in threat actors using the tools that you use day in, day out to actually be able to attack your own system. Things like PowerShell and command prompt. So what we can do with ring fencing is essentially put a fence around that application, stop that application from being able to do malicious things, essentially limiting it from being weaponized. Once we've gone down that route, we can then go ahead and implement an elevation control solution. Very simply, users do not actually need local admin control to their machines, but they may need it for specific applications to update, etc. So why not allow admin control on your machines in an individual manner? So individual applications can run as an admin, but everything else just runs under a normal user profile. This is a huge piece in strengthening user security. Next up, storage control. That's looking after your storage. Number one, control the flow of data using USBs, etc. But also looking at your way in which you're storing data. Often we're storing data across network shares. And these network shares can be accessed by any application that you have installed on your machine. Now that's quite scary when we start to think about it, because if any of those apps have a vulnerability that a threat actor can use, they can access your data. So what we want to do with storage control is essentially say, application can run, but it is not allowed to access XYZ data locations, whether that be a public share or another network drive. The final piece of the solution is network access control. And the easiest way to describe this is on your networks, you have a firewall. This is an on-device firewall. So it's built there to strengthen the actual device itself, to strengthen your physical devices' security. And by using all of these 5 solutions, the Threatlocker ecosystem can help to better protect your machines, your data, and obviously you guys as users.
I have to agree that this has been a great tool for us, Ben. And if there's anything that helps me sleep better at night, it's knowing that we have this in place for our customers. And I just personally truly believe that this is the #1 security solution in our tool set that actually makes a real difference. And I just have full confidence in this type of security approach, and that would be the zero trust approach. And you hear it all over the place, zero trust. It's definitely the way that the direction that security is moving. And that was a very good description of how Threatlocker works and how it keeps people safe.
Thank you very much. Just want to touch a quick add on that. You mentioned zero trust, and often this is thrown around a lot and we hear it all the time. I like to try and simplify it as much as possible. Zero trust is just least privilege. It is applying that least privilege model and saying, not everyone should be able to do everything on my machines. It's when we start to have least privilege, we can cause a lot less damage. And that at the end of the day is what we're doing here with Threatlocker. We're applying least privilege across the board to your machines so that you are better protected.
Yeah, I love that scenario. Now, the one that I always give my dentists is in their practice software, if there's people that don't need to be writing prescriptions, well, then maybe it's best not to give their software rights for everybody to write prescriptions.
Exactly.
And So yes, by limiting exposure and the concept of least privilege, that goes a long ways into keeping people safe. And the other thing that I have to say about least privilege is we use it here in our shop. With our tools, we could give ourselves access to everything that our tools have to offer, but we don't. We understand that if our accounts are compromised, the tools that we have available to ourselves become available to the threat actors. And that's why we're so careful to only open up the things that we have to use. Everything else we close off. And again, that least privilege, really mitigates the threat landscape and minimizes the damage that can be done if somebody malicious does get into your system and, wants to do something that is not in your best interest.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for your time, Ben. And we hope to have you here again at Third Coast as we move forward. So have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. See you later.